They're built very close, and it's just a narrow passage. If you're carrying anything, it'd be some trouble. A fire escape.
Doesn't smell bad.
Very good.
Find misery in the favelas, you find poverty, okay? To the south, to big cities, Rio, São Paulo, to find better jobs. But they have no school.
A little store, restaurant.
Carry everything and they all know each other, they help each other. And you have to get off the hill from the bottom.
Brasilia. The Catholic chapel up ahead. You see these little snatches of daylight in here. The angel indicating nothing. Example of people having to carry everything.
What would an average salary be for Rio de Janeiro?
What they do, many people that can work, they put the money together, they'll make more than that.
A bit of a middle class life.
Rio Street. The cafe, and there's an internet.
Greet you.
Sorry.
Different nationalities.
Who come here.
What do you mean by mixed population? Black and white?
Well, one guy was telling me, and I just wondered, are there many?
We have mulattoes.
I know it's...
You see the African culture, mostly black people there. A nice mess here.
Yeah, more wires.
Another legal mess. The wire, the meters. Of the alleys, we are back outside. Look at the contrast in front of us. Nothing happens here. People that live here, one of them
The gang, amigos and amigos. Friends and friends, I believe. To visit.
Would you like to stop and drink something now?
Yes, anytime is fine.
Family that are supported by a woman, and then she has met.
This is a part of the school, and kids are on computers.
It's called Parati, which means for you. And this is not a regular school. It's a community school. The other half day, instead of being on the streets. And because of this, from Monday to Friday, the kids they try to get any chances they have. Send the kids to the school to extra activity. Give the best to the kids. Another time, they don't care about tomorrow. They want the money now, and they say, okay, we're going to send the kids to the streets, and they will bring money to us. It's part of the school.
They have 130 children
they are
here.
connected to internet also.
CDI
Social inclusion. That's
provides the internet here for the kids.
to keep the kids out of the streets.
Yeah, before after school program.
At home. But here they know that what matters is not what they see outside, but what they have inside. And inside, they have good teachers. All the kids help with the cooking and with the cleaning. And that's why there are the religions now, like those evangelical to interact, exchanging letters and photos, like pen pals. And they let small messages to the kids. See?
We have a kitchen here in the school that they feed them.
And they cook here for the kids lunch, breakfast or
school programs.
all the books you see around, they were
That's made by the locals. That's made by the kids. You get a good view of the hotel
well,
from
if they get
here.
sick, there are no hospitals. made with watermelon.
Watermelon seed. Melon seed.
No domingo só teve uma pessoa.
Many motorcycles. They have over 500 of them. They work as motor taxis. The buses and the trucks, they get stuck to each other. They get stuck to each other all the time because of the curves. So motorcycles are quite popular, but they're also used by the drug dealers. It's a fast way to move around. And there are many motorcycles with no license plates. Those belong to drug traffic, and they don't want to be identified. And many of these motorcycles you see around, the guys have double jobs. They are motor taxis, but also eye watchers. They drive all day long, so they make money making sure that everything is okay, and they can communicate with each other when they see something wrong. So try not and put in those piles, and then city government provides the cleaning.
No McDonald's after the last gang was.
Of God is a favela in Rio, built west side of town in the 60s. And they wrote a book first, and then they made a movie based on a true story.
Way down. There used to be a Formula One race track road here.
The same alley that we walked the other day. But the alleys here don't have names. They have only numbers, which means they don't have a regular address. And they don't get mail at home either. But they have several community centers here. And they have to go there. The favela, they get mail at home there because they have a
Can't get mail here. This is no
class. This building was built with engineering support. There are 70 apartments, no elevators. Look at the stairs they have to walk. Oh, they have to walk up. Yes. It's much easier walking here than walking up to those houses. And they have $1 million view.
And $1 million view.
On the left, you see an aqueduct.
Yeah, the aqueduct.
From the rain.
Okay.
So the water is collected. It goes right
They
to the
collect
ocean.
the water.
We
So
drove
it goes
around
in the
that
ocean
neighborhood.
instead of sweeping down the hillside.
At the top. And you can see that here.
Okay.
You can see here they live this way so they can do it on top.
Now, do they have the bottles upside down for
Put it on his arm. So what are the little bottles for?
To protect the children. They like to play there.
Oh, the rebar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rebar.
They
So
drive bicycles and those.
Yeah, they have rebar here, and they put the bottles up so the kids won't
someday
stab
they're going to
themselves.
put an extra floor there.
You know, a lot of countries, you see this rebar, but nothing ever builds on it. I guess like Belize has a lot. Same way.
But you know what they call
Okay.
That's Egypt.
That's it. There's water tank. The water
So
tank up there.
they get clean water.
Uh-huh.
Water tanks.
Uh-huh.
So here we have like 95% of the favela on this side. So they always have the best cultural education, but they own a bar.
This road was a Formula One racetrack in the old days before people built here. You can call to your neighbor here from your rooftop. Don't need a cell phone. It's the house we went in.
They have a house, they have a job.
Class would send their children home.
Oh, mess of wires. They have a lot of stores here too.
Child, plus books, transportation, food, whichever, 200. So you can imagine that, right in front of each other, houses. See that white one right on top? It has 3 floors like this, and then 2 windows on each floor. That house belongs to our most famous plastic surgeon in the country. Ivo Pitt is one of the best, but he operates the poor people for free. And some years ago, during Carnival, and the samba schools are usually named after the favelas. So this place here has its own samba school as well. That's called Academicus da Racina.
Best view in town. The Sugarloaf and the statue of Christ the Redeemer. All in one shot.
It's American school. The other.
Atenção, inscreva-se já e comece a trabalhar. Ótimo salário, entregue seu...
The buses, they go right through here. Getting off work.
Just private drivers with imported cars waiting for the kids. And this neighborhood is Gavia. A nice old neighborhood.
American
Well,
school
you
area.
could see how people live is but after the end of our monarchy and the beginning of the republic, Rio was the capital of the republic at that time. And there was a rebellion in the state of Bahia in a place called Canudos. So the government wanted to stop that, and they sent the soldiers to fight them. And while in Canudos, the soldiers were established in a place called Favela Mountain, because in that area used to grow a plant called Favela bush, which produced a kind of a bean, like a fava bean. In that battle, the soldiers killed thousands of people, and when they came back, they were considered heroes by God.
This was a great tour. The first favela seemed very safe. It was the smaller one. We had a nice beverage there and visited the school that was started by an Italian fund. It was the second favela when we started driving up the road in our little minivan. I was taking pictures out the window, and the guide warned us not to take pictures so much because some of the young men on the street were drug dealers, and they were actually toting guns, large guns. So at that point I tried not to have my camera pointing even out the window. I don't believe I took a picture of any of them, but she does talk about how they use the motorcycles for their drugs. Now the favela itself, they said, was pretty safe. I guess since we weren't police and we weren't intruding, and this tour has been going on for a while. Now the kids in the school, they have a picture of a llama on the wall. She said there wasn't as many kids there as normal because a lot of the families prefer just to put the kids out on the street to work. What they do often is sell beverages and snacks to motorists on very crowded, busy roadways. We saw some of that when we were in our bus, where people were hawking goods on the roadways. The favelas have beautiful views. Once you're up at the top, if you're inside a favela, it's very narrow and dark, and you have to carry things because it's like a narrow passageway through them, and also the streets are quite crowded. It's a very, very busy place. They don't have all the services that they need. They have some basic things. They pay for everything. The main difference is, as you can see, it's basically a shanty town built on the mountain because the rich people preferred to get closer to the beach that left the public lands on the mountain, and that's where the poor people who came to the city to find work wound up building. So that's why they're all built up on the beautiful hillsides.